I went to Kevin Harvick, worked there in 2011. Unfortunately, last year he was open. Great organization, and the way he ran the race team, I learned a lot more. Straightforward, a lot of common sense, a lot of confidence in what he had. Very concrete on, I'm not going to go spending a bunch of stuff on stuff we don't need. Because I remember him telling us he said, we already know how to win here. If you don't believe it, walk out there and count how many of them banners are hanging from the ceiling where they won races and championships. And I'm like, I kind of like that, you know, just cut through the bull and just, you know, we know how to do this. But I was hired to crew chief Nelson K. Jr., who I'd never met, in a truck, a full-time truck team. And we have a good crew of people. I actually enjoyed that, had good stuff, but he was getting going, and I'm telling you, that boy had a lot of talent. He had a lot of driving ability, a lot of talent, and I liked him. We got along very well.
When Harvick shut down, you went with him?
Yes,
over
to Turner. Yeah, there's more story behind it. And then toward the little past the middle of the year, they made some changes in the organization. They put me as crew chief as the 33 nationwide car. I think it's still nationwide then, which was kind of cup drivers mostly. It was him, Kevin, Clint Boyer, and Paul Menard. And I think we ran 10 or 11 races there out. The only regret I had, they didn't make it till after Bristol. They didn't make a change till after Bristol, and I would have wanted to run Bristol with one of those guys, you know, and then I ended up, they took me off of Piquet's deal, put Jeff Hensley on Piquet's deal because they needed a full-time guy there. But there was some races they ran with trucks, like one-offs, and they ended up putting me on those trucks. So that year, I won two as a crew chief. One was involved in 2 wins in the Truck Series. One was Kevin at Texas late in the year, and the other one was Mike Wallace at Talladega.
Oh, wow.
You know, manager at Harvick came to me and he said, Talladega Truck. I said, this is 2 or 3 weeks before the race. I said, okay. He said, we're going to have you crew chief that race. I said, okay. He said, no, it's a 33 truck. He said, you okay with Mike Wallace? I said, absolutely. I said, he'll probably win the race. I said, that's what I thought. Got it down there. And there was a story behind that. At that time, up until that time, nobody had really done the bump drafting, tandem drafting in the trucks, because went to Daytona and it was like some people tried it, but like the front bumper and rear bumper didn't really line up right. Like the heights were different, so it was faster. So they're like, oh, that won't work. So I remember coming in the competition meeting, I think the week after the Daytona race. I was on the Piquet. We had a lot more things to worry about than that. But I remember Kevin saying at that time, he said, I'm telling you right now, when we go to Talladega, now this was a room full of crew chief drivers, foreman, management and everything. He said, I'm telling you right now, he said, when we go to Talladega, we're going to be prepared in them trucks to tandem draft. I didn't say nothing, because like I say, I had a lot more things to worry about than that. That time, you know, trying to get going, trying to get my feet on the ground, and I remember Hornaday and whoever else seems to go. He said, oh, tandem won't work, but the closest to mine will wreck. He said, Kevin, that's when I seen Kevin Harvick come out. He said, I don't give a what you. He said, it's friggin' 10 mile an hour. And he said, we're going to do it. And he said, better tell you fat shop people, they better get ready. He said, you guys go to Talladega, you better be ready. Because he said, we are going to do it. We're going to prepare those trucks. He said, we're going to do it. Run about quiet. So anyway, we went on. Well, I'll be quite honest with you, I didn't know too awful much more about it throughout the year. Again, I had a lot going on. You know, I knew that they were working on them, and I knew they had it kind of, but it was kind of hush-hush. They didn't want nobody to know about it. Because there was a lot of prep in doing it. They built the front of the truck. It looked like when it's bulldozers out here to shovel snow. Did a lot of other little stuff. Everything within the rules.
Sure.
Everything within the rules. But the time they went with Hornaday drove one of the trucks and Mike Wallace drove the other, and that was one I was on. I'll be honest with you, Hornaday he didn't want to do it. He was not for it. And his team was not for it. Mike was all about it. He didn't care. And I said, you play your card right, you're going to get a trophy this weekend. He said, you think so? I said, I know so. Well, Kevin told me, he said, don't go out there and do it in practice. He said, because you're going to be 7-8 miles an hour faster than everybody. He said, they're liable. And everybody will see it and they'll start doing it. He said, don't give us away here now. Them two yo-yos had to run one lap. Well, we got to see if it'll work, So they did right toward the end of practice, and I'm sitting there looking at the monitor, we were about 6th or 7th or 8th, 2 cars, and there's speeds up here, and they come by, and I'm watching, I thought, oh God. They come by, take a lap, and it goes, bink, and they're like 5 mile an hour faster than next time. And I look up and down the trucks, and everybody was up on top there pointing. Did you see this? So here it goes. Well, the Truck Series officials did not like it at all. They had done seen the front of the truck, and they knew what was going to happen. They knew what was going to go on, and they were not happy. But there was no rule against it.
This felt like the Sam Hornish deal a little bit.
Yeah, and the Andy Petrie deal, when we had the 2 spring deal, they got onto that too. And it's like, oh God, here we go. Well, it progressed into Saturday morning before the race. And this was my truck team crew was kind of a mixture of some people we just kind of thrown together to go down there, and they were all like, let's go out there and just bust our hind end. And, we get in the truck ready and everything. Pirelli comes over and says, Kevin wants to see you, Wallace, Hornaday, and Bruce Cook in his motorhome like soon. He said, I'll take you over there. Okay. So we all ride over there. And I remember Kevin's still in his PJs, sitting there in that truck, sitting in that big old recliner seat, come on in and everything like that. He said, okay, we want to talk about this race now and how we're going to do this. Me and Wallace kind of kept our mouth shut. I just kind of sat there and just listened, and he's sitting over there, I'm sitting across from him, I never will get this. But Ron was not at all in favor of this, and neither was his crew chief. And they were like saying, well, NASCAR says, they may black flag us, they may do this, they don't want it to happen, we better not show our hand, we better not stink up the show, all this stuff. Like that, let's just wait till the last 5 laps and then we'll get together and do it then. And Harvick's sitting there listening. And I never will forget, he looked and he got that look on his face like a rattlesnake fixing to strike. And he was all reared back in that way. He said, well, I'm going to tell you what I think. He said, I don't give a so-and-so what NASCAR says. He said, we have worked hard. He said, everything we've done is well within the rules that's in the rule book. And he said, when you guys start the race, he said, I want you to move over, let him in front of you. He said, I want you to go up here. He said, and he said, who wants to be in front? Well, Ron didn't want to be in front because he's afraid to get wrecked. Mike said, I'll be in front. He knew, he was like a dog in a butcher shop window. He said, I'll be in front. And I'm sitting there laughing to myself. I said, I think that's a good idea. I want to win. So, anyway, he gave them the right act. He said, I don't care if you lap the field. He said, if that's what we can do, that's what I want to do. He said, I don't care about stinking up the show. I don't care if it hurts your feelings. He said, we've done the work to do this and spent the money. He said, all I care about is winning the race. He said, don't speed on pit road. Don't go below the white line. Don't do nothing stupid. Don't give them no excuses. He said, if they want, they can throw all the cautions they want to. He said, just pass them back. And a guy named Billy O'Dea was him and Bob Jeffries, who's from here, were the two spotters. And he said, you both listen to Billy O'Dea. He said, he will tell you exactly how to do this. And he basically drove in cars, trucks. It was the doggone thing I've ever heard. He said, stay right there. Okay, move up just a little bit now. Basically drove the trucks. Austin Dillon and somebody else got together, and I think Bodine was running the race. There was 3 or 4 pairs of them started to try it, but they weren't prepared for it. And Billy would say, okay, there's 2 of them coming. They're coming on the outside. He said, it's okay. Y'all hold your line on 1 lane off the bottom. He said, when they get to the corner, he said, they're going to slow up. I'm thinking, what? They got to the corner. Did exactly what he said, and I'm thinking, and that's the easiest win I ever got. That's the easiest win I was ever a part of. But I'll never, the biggest kick I got out of it was Harvick sitting there and listening to all this and saying, I don't give a blah, blah, blah what they think. This is what's going to happen. Right. And I don't care if it hurts their feelings. I don't care about nothing else. We put the money into it. It's all legal. It's all within their rules. There ain't nothing they can do about it. I don't give a.
Did NASCAR ever come back with anything?
Oh, they were all snarled up after the race. They were all. Wayne Alton wouldn't even speak to me. But Wayne's great. He got through it.
What paint scheme did you win with that day?
Anderson's maple syrup, truck 33.
I remember that.
Yeah. And Mike was like, I'm not sure that wasn't the biggest thing ever happened in his career. I remember the Victory Lane people got mad because he couldn't stay in the truck long enough. They were like, stay in the truck now. We'll stay in the truck, stay in the truck. I ain't staying in this truck. I'm getting out. He's got, woo, and they're throwing their hats down and all this stuff. I said, that was a good time. I was impressed with the way he ran his organization. I wish it would have lasted long.